Start it.
So when we left off, you guys were in Belliard. You've done a small amount of shopping. And after having a very difficult night, some of you anyway, at the inn, you've decided that some action is going to be needed in order to get Savra safely and inconspicuously out of town. As it seems that the farther away, the longer she's away from the tower, the more difficult it is to keep her under control. When she's not under a protection from good and evil spell, she is constantly looking back in that direction and has become increasingly more agitated and wanting to go back, to the point where she fought off the two elves in the night in an attempt to escape and head back there. So we fast forwarded to dawn. Everyone has had a long rest, and we are ready to head out. So what would you guys like to do first?
I want to check just the information. Did we get the location of where the Wicker Man was?
Nothing specific.
Did the Druids not
It's
know?
to the south.
Okay.
Do we need to get a cart to put Savra in?
I think I can make her compliant if you cast your spell on her once.
What does that mean? Sounds ominous.
Do you remember how I made the fire caster leave in the middle of combat?
Ah, yes, okay.
Something similar, although it would help if she were herself and could allow the spell to succeed.
Got it, okay. Well, I'm ready to head out. I don't know about everybody else.
I'm ready to head out.
We could also just bind her.
Might want to wait till we get out of town to do that.
Right, yeah. The plan was to protect you from evil until we get out of town, then we could bind her if needed, but if you are able to do something, then that works. I mean,
and you can definitely bind her, but remember that you're all traveling on foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ideally I don't want to bind her if we don't have to.
Right, well, let's do this then. So, if you
Alright.
if you want to cast your spell, Taladar will cast his.
I am casting my protection from evil.
The minute that you do, a look of relief comes across her face. And she says, "Oh, thank you. What is the plan?"
We're going to get you to the Order of the Gauntlet, my order. And hopefully they will have a way to cure you of this, or at the very least protect you until we can figure out what's going on.
Right, let me just correct some information.
Oh.
The knights that you're taking her to are not the Order of the Gauntlet. That's your order.
Yeah.
And they do operate in the area and also in Waterdeep. The order you're taking her to is the Knights of Samular. They work hand in hand with the order, but they are tier-specific worshippers. They're an order of knight called the Knights of Samular, and they specifically worship tier. Whereas the Order of the Gauntlet, a lot of them are tier worshippers. Some are Helm, etc., etc.
Got it. Okay. Correction. We're taking you to the Knights of Samular in hopes of curing you.
I know of them. Their leader is very well respected. Good. Okay.
Savra,
Yes.
I'd like to cast a spell on you that will help you comply with us when this protection lifts.
Ah, Yes.
It
I'm
may
sorry
not be.
for any trouble I might have caused last night.
He just kind of waves the comment off, with his hand. It may not be comfortable to comply with. I apologize in advance.
If it makes it easier for us, I'm all for it. Go ahead.
So he will cast suggestion. She can. It doesn't say she can choose to fail it, but I think that's sort of stock standard.
She's going to.
And so he will suggest, Savra, you will follow Aranor wherever he goes until the sun sets. You will remain quiet and compliant, and we will protect you. Do you understand?
She nods her head, and a brief sort of glaze forms over her eyes. Yes, of course. I understand.
Good. And he makes a little bit of a gesture to sort of end the spell with a pause. Right, well, it's done, and the spell has taken hold. I don't know how well it will work. And he just kind of shrugs, so perhaps be ready. And once we leave the town and are a good distance down the road, maybe we should at least bind her hands. And that's kind of all Taladar's got. He sort of looks to his spell book and begins preparing for the day.
I'll stick close to her. I don't feel like we'll need to bind her.
Right, so with your spells being cast, and her willingly under your control, or at least seemingly so, you begin to head out. It's early morning, the town is just waking, and you make your way to the wooden gates of the town. They've remained closed overnight for safety and as per town protocol. And as they open up, you find yourselves once again on the road. The weather looks to have cleared up some. Partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are good for travel. Now, you guys would have been told, and Deebs would have already known, where the Knights of Samular are based. You are heading to, it is a former monastery, and the base of operations for the Knights of Samular for hundreds of years in the region. It is a former monastery that's been converted into more of a fortress that watches over the eastern portions of the Desserin Valley. Let's just have a look at the world map, or the area map. So you are currently in the town of Belliard, and you are going to head south along the Desserin Road to Summit Hall. It's about a half-day trip on a well-marked path. You also know that this is supposedly the route that the Mirabar expedition took on its way to Summit Hall, which was supposedly its next destination.
I point out to the group that this is the path to somehow the same route that the Mirabar delegation took.
I need a quick headset reset. I'll just be a second.
I broke Darkstar.
Her headset just does weird shit sometimes.
See, now that would be a question you could use augury for.
Okay, it should be okay now. You can't hear me, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Alright, I have no sound in Roll20, but that's fine. So you guys head out. Who is leading the group?
Moss.
Alright, Moss.
Moss will lead, but he's going to be a little gun shy. He's going
Sorry, go ahead.
to be like furtively looking around and really checking his bearings frequently.
Taladar will be basically the mechanical translation of this is he will be readying an action to cast Lightning Lure if Savra tries to run off for the entire day each turn, just watching her like a hawk, following closely behind her.
Well, I'm going to be next to her the entire time, too. So,
Yeah, so like we're kind of preoccupied with that, I imagine.
yeah. So, could it be like Bri, then me and Savra, and then Taladar?
Yep. Yeah, you can go in whatever marching order you'd like.
Star should take the rear with her super sight.
Okay, Moss.
Oh, I don't think I actually hit the long rest button.
Well, you should do that.
Seems kind of classist. Ropes do it from behind. That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But they do. That's how they do it best.
Would you rather take it from behind?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Moss, give me a survival check.
Oh boy. Say it, Bri.
Come on, big money.
Say it.
That's good. That's good.
Right. So the way seems clear. Moss points out any pitted marks in the road. This road is less traveled than either the large path or the much larger long road. It is
Moss
little
takes-
more than a wagon track.
Moss takes a hard look at the road. This road is less traveled than the other roads. It's a little more than a wagon track.
It is a little bit more heavily forested here in this area of the valley. So you come across several shaded spots, the trees pressing close to the road.
Hey guys,
And I
look!
would-
There's lots of trees.
After a couple of hours of travel, Moss, something piques your interest.
I don't know what this is, but it's piqued my interest. I take a closer look. Guess what am I looking at?
Taking a closer look, you notice some strange marks in the road. They're not footprints. They don't look like they're made by any animal. It's almost as if somebody was attempting to obscure tracks. Give me a perception check. With that high a perception check, you can tell that this is definitely the work of somebody or several somebodies very carefully obscuring evidence of travel.
Is it continuing along the road or going off from the road?
It is a large section that is heading off the road and deep into the underbrush.
East, west, which direction?
East.
Can I tell how old the tracks are?
There's been some weather in the area over the past couple of weeks, but the sheer size and scale of this cover-up operation leads you to believe that this was probably a couple of weeks ago.
I point this out to the group, and this is interesting. Something clearly is large happened here, and did not want others to know about it. Might be cultist activity. I'm not sure we deter our plans, but I think we should make note of this, and maybe we could come back if we're looking for another lead.
Everybody give me an intelligence check.
Oh boy.
Oops. I accidentally closed my window.
We're dumb.
You guys dumb. Well, 15 is fine.
It's because you're doubting my intelligence.
Well, roll it and prove us different.
Taldar's a smart one. Moss is just busy looking at the trees.
Arinor's too focused on what Savra's doing. We'll just wait for Starsha's D&D to work. So the two elves both seem to be the only two that recall that the Mirabar delegation left Beliard on his way to Summit Hall and disappeared, and nobody has been able to find it, or even the remnants of it. And both of you know, with over 90% surety, that this is probably the clearest evidence of it disappearing. Both of you are very sure that this is what you're looking at.
I still think we finish our journey to Summit Hall, but we mark this location,
Yeah.
and we can consider coming back here.
Given that we already know what happened to them, and we've found a handful of them, I agree, but I'm not sure coming back is even necessary, unless it helps us find those who took them originally. Unless there's some way to trace a path back to them, but.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to follow to see where it went. But we should get to Summit Hall first, for sure.
So do you guys choose to press on?
Yes, but I'm going to leave some sort of marker to make it easier to find it on the way back.
Okay.
Kind of upright stick in the ground or something.
If we didn't have Savra with us, we'd go. But yeah, we need to get to Summit Hall.
So Moss rigs up some sort of a marker close by the site that you have very clearly pointed out to them, with the intent to perhaps come back and investigate further. You begin to once again make your way down the road, and I need everybody to give me a perception check.
Oh.
Nope.
Surprisingly, Aranor is the only one that notices this. Perhaps because he's accustomed to the sounds of battle, combat, sparring. But as you begin to make your way further down the road from the site, to your ears comes the sound of battle. Steel on steel, clashing of armor, the sounds of a fight.
Where's it coming from?
It is coming from into the trees to the east.
Oh boy. I hear the sounds of battle to the east.
And?
Do you want?
Can I get an idea of how far away it is?
It sounds distant. Maybe less than 2 miles.
Which
Do
way
you
are
want
we
me-
heading?
South.
You guys are heading south.
Oh.
Do you want me to scout it?
Yes. Yes, please.
So I will do find familiar as a hawk. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do Find Familiar as a hawk and fly towards the battle. Circle around and see what's going on.
Okay. So Moss's eyes glaze over completely. All you see is white as a hawk is summoned into being and heads off into the trees. After flying around for a little bit, it's quite dense in these trees.
Well, I'd fly above the trees as a hawk.
Okay. So flying above the trees, it is very difficult to penetrate the canopy. There are gaps here and there. You do see a couple of streams running through. And after just a couple of minutes, there's a bit of a clearing. Give me a perception check with your hawk sight, which I think has advantage. With a 16, the hawk can definitely see glints of armor. It looks like there's a handful of people fighting. Some sort of... Can't quite tell at this range, because the hawk is staying above the trees. But fighting some sort of humanoid creature. Several of them.
I will descend and take a closer look.
Descending down into the canopy, the hawk lands on a branch and can now very clearly see what looks like a couple of warriors, knights perhaps, with purple cloaks, gleaming silver armor, fighting what looks to be... You're not sure if you've ever seen these before, but you've heard of them. You think they're probably gnolls. It looks like there's perhaps 2 knights, one is down. There seems to be several corpses strewn around. And these 2 knights are quickly losing ground to this group of gnolls.
Okay, I return back to my shape and relay. Aranar, I see 2 what look like knights in purple cloaks and silver armor fighting some gnolls, and they are losing. Does that sound like your order or your peer's order?
You recall that on the shields that both of these knights have with them, you describe in detail the symbol that you saw. It looks like a set of scales balanced on the head of a hammer. And you would know this, Aranar, as one of the many symbols of Tyr.
It's the Knights of Samular.
They are losing. Do we go to assist them?
Will we get there in time?
I have no idea.
If you went crashing through the trees, you could get there within less than 10 minutes.
How far away from Summit Hall? Like, are we accurate on the where we are on the map?
Relatively. You're a couple of hours away from Summit Hall.
Let's head in. Let's help them.
Great. Moss nods and starts leading them off in the direction of the battle.
So Moss and Aranar head into the forest. Savra hot on Aranor's heels. The rest of you follow, I'm assuming?
I follow, but I doth protest. I will remind Taldar will remind Aranar that he is not going to be as effective in a fight, concentrating on the spell that holds her, and it's going to be somewhat dangerous with her following him closely. But I go where you go.
I understand.
And I understand the importance of helping these people if we're to ask them for help in turn.
It may be in our favor to earn favor with them.
So all of you, I'm assuming, are heading into the underbrush now.
Yeah.
You do all now hear the sound of battle. It doesn't sound like it's a battlefield, but it does sound like there are several participants. And as you get deeper and deeper into the trees, the sounds definitely grow louder. Within the next few minutes, you happen upon a clearing. It is not completely open to the sky, but there are definitely some gaps here. And you can see what looks like a massacre. There are dead bodies strewn around. There is debris, rubble, there's blasted trees, great mounds of earth that look like they've been tossed into the air haphazardly. And both Felix and Taladar get the sense that great elemental magics were at work here within the past few weeks to a month.
Smells like dirt wizards.
I will move you all to the map.
We just know elemental. We don't know which kind or anything like that.
No, you wouldn't be able to tell which kind. It feels like
Magic.
It feels like elemental magic specifically.
Like there's an arcane tang left over in the air, or is it more like just the visual, this is not something that could have been done with mortal hands?
No, it's it's both. Felix and Taladar both make Arcana checks.
Not tonight, I don't.
Are you guys hearing music?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, because I can't tell. For whatever reason, music isn't working for me.
Yeah, I'm not actually hearing it. Well, there's
It's
something
low,
playing.
it's
pretty
low.
quiet.
Taladar, you know for sure, based on the rocks that look like they've been rent clean out of the earth, to large pits of dirt that look like they've been blasted away or lifted up. Even moss, you would be able to tell, knowing the Mold Earth spell, that this looks like earth-based magic. And as you enter the clearing, let me put you all on the map. You can see bodies, blood, and debris everywhere. Between 30 and 50 feet away, you can see two knights, looks like in the midst of a fight with 2 to 3 gnolls. You can see a couple more gnolls in the distance, and more dead bodies strewn around. More gnolls in the background, sensing more have entered the combat, appear. Whoa, shit.
The dead bodies moved.
Zombies! Ah!
More zombies.
It's necromancy.
I moved the wrong guys. More gnolls in the back that looked like they were eating or feasting on these dead bodies.
Ooh.
Notice you
Oh,
and begin to join the battle.
oh, that's wrong. Roll for initiative.
The knights that are on that are in the middle of combat don't notice your approach. But as the two gnolls in the back begin to move, I will ask you all to roll for initiative.
How many notes are there? There's
Oh, I forgot to select
2
myself.
on the right and 1 on the left.
There are currently 5 gnolls on the right and 2 on the left.
1, 2, 3.
Dang it all! I had a good roll.
I
and
got
forgot
I got
to
a
click on
3
myself.
Dark Star. I forgot to click on myself.
Okay, what did you get?
Yeah, I did
3.
too.
3.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I got 15. Sorry.
Hang on.
I had a
Eleanor got
22.
3. Starsha got a 22. Who else missed? Moss?
Moss has 15.
Okay.
Taladar, do what you need to do.
Does it look like there's only 2 knights alive?
Yes. Make sure I got everyone.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that should be everyone. Moss, what is your dexterity?
It is 12.
Okay. Roll a d20 for me. Okay. We'll move you in the order slightly. There we go. Okay. So the 2 gnolls that seem to have noticed you begin their move, heading towards you. The 2 knights are currently in the midst of combat and don't yet notice you approaching. The 2 gnolls in the far right also don't notice you. The only 2 that seem to have noticed you so far are the ones in the northwest that are now moving towards the battle. Starsha, you are up first.
Yes, I would like. Let's see. Am I close enough that I can get behind the closest troll?
You can, but it would take your movement and bonus action to do it.
Okay, but I could still.
You'd still have your action.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll go get behind it. And I think because he's busy with somebody else, I still have opportunity of attack, right?
Yes, because it's still flanking, it would give you advantage and sneak attack.
Nice. Alright, I'll do that, and I will stab him from behind.
All right.
Hooray.
Just roll my dagger.
Roll to hit.
Is that the one on the very left, like to the very left?
It's the
up?
yeah. It looks like 2 daggers or 2 swords
daggers.
crossed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to roll
No,
twice.
that's
but
fine.
The first
That's
time I
fine.
didn't do anything.
I mean, both of them are going to hit. So, your sneak attack damage, because it calculated it for you. So with 1 mighty stab of your dagger into this thing's back, you do 12 points of damage. It yowls in pain and spins around to face you. It looks quite hurt.
Shh.
Is it 12 or
Not so loud.
17?
Sorry, it's 17. My mistake.
Does that mean it yells even louder?
Yes, it yowls even louder and spins around to face you. The knights, now sensing others have joined the combat, look in your direction.
I give them a nod.
They both nod back. Come, join the fray. That brings us to Taladar.
What knolls can Taladar see? Let's see. He's gonna move. He's gonna move up. But oh boy. So this is the furthest Taladar can move. Is up here. What knolls can he see from somewhere over here? I'm having a little trouble seeing them on the map. I got a couple back here, but I don't know if I have line of sight through these rocks and bushes.
You can definitely see the 2 that are approaching.
Oh.
You can see the 3 that are currently engaged with the Knights and Starsha.
This one, and this one. Yeah, you know what? That's good enough. I'm going to move up to right here, and I am going to pop off a 3rd level magic missile as I draw my blade.
Okay.
And invoke the blade song. We just tick that off. Spells. We got magic missile. We're going to cast that. At 3rd level, that is 5 total darts. And I'm going to put them all into this guy here for a total of, oh boy, 10 points of force damage.
10 points of damage.
Fucking garbage. That's my turn.
Okay. Dealing 10 points of damage to the surprise gnoll in the back. He also spins around to look at this new group. Felix, it's your turn.
How does he look as far as damaged?
I mean, he looks damaged. He's not on death's door by any means, but he's roughly half the amount of life he previously had.
Well, then I will cast Firebolt and Twin It to hit both of the people that... Well, first I'll try the one that Starsha hurt.
Okay. Yeah, 16 is going to hit. And with that damage, in a yelp of pain, it goes down, smoldering.
Then I will target the one that poker.
Okay.
Oof. And whip.
Unfortunately, it shoots right over his right shoulder, hitting the log behind it and beginning to smolder there.
Okay, that will be my turn.
Okay, that is Noel in the back's turn. Seeing that new people have joined the combat, he gets up from his gorging on dead bodies and moves. He's going to move up to the closest knight. Make an attack with his spear. And he misses. Moss, that brings us to you.
Are either of the knights looking heavily injured?
They both look injured. None of them look like they're about to die on the next turn.
Alright, Moss is going to move up to... Oops. Someone can delete that. I don't know how to delete it. I'll move up a little bit and
Okay.
Yeah. And yellow trees, grasses, shrubberies, lend me your roots. And I'm going to cast Spike Growth and tell the knights to hold their positions. The ground is no longer their friend. I can tell everyone that, not just the knights.
Okay.
So Spike Growth. And I kind of want to center it, I think, just north of Starsha. No, to the right. Like, kind of just...
I'm gonna hand it to you. I'm just trying to make it the right size.
Oh.
I can't remember how big it
Okay.
is.
Looks like it's...
The
That's
should be 20 radius.
the template and its name should tell you how many squares to make.
Oh,
to set
8
it
by
to.
8. Jesus. Okay, you can put it wherever you'd like, Bri.
Oh, there's seems to be 2 copies.
There's 2 copies.
Nope. No, it gives an edge. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
So again, I'm just warning everyone, try not to move. Taunt the gnolls to come to us.
Just moving it onto the map layer so I can click on tokens. You can still see it, correct?
Yep.
Okay, good. Is there anything else?
I'm gonna cast Healing Word on the one knight just because he's got 2 gnolls beside him.
Because you don't know what their health is at, I would save your magics.
Okay.
Also, can't cast 2 leveled spells in a turn.
It's
Also
a
that.
bonus action.
It's still a leveled spell though.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you cast a spell as a bonus action, the only thing you can cast as an action is a cantrip.
Okay, that brings us, if that is the end of your turn.
Yes.
Okay, that gnoll is dead. That brings us to one of the gnolls in the back left. He is going to unknowingly step into the spike growth because he doesn't know it's there. What happens when he enters it?
It says it becomes difficult terrain and 2d4 into or within the area, so I guess it'd take 2d4 damage.
Okay, so he's going to step into the area and immediately take 2d4 damage if you want to roll that. Six points. Okay. He lets out a snarl. And he's going to pull the longbow from his back and take a shot at Starsha. Does a 16 hit? Starsha. She must have gone AFK. Let me look at her character sheet. Unless you guys can't hear me.
We can.
I hear you.
I don't think it hits. She has an AC of 14. It does. She takes 2 points of damage.
That's rude.
That is the end of his turn. It is now the Gnoll currently engaged with one of the knights, who's going to continue to attack the knight. It's the one that you had already damaged.
How many points of damage did I take?
2. I already took them off.
2. What? No, not off my character sheet.
Oh, not off your character sheet, no. I just took them off your icon. He's going to use his spear. But the spear scrapes along the knight's shield and does no damage. Second Gnoll in the back is going to move.
Right. You realize you trapped Starsha in there.
Yes.
Yep. And the knights.
Oh my
He's
god.
going to move right up to Starsha. He's going to take 2d4 damage, if you want to roll that, right?
Sorry, where's he moving to?
He's right behind Starsha.
So he's gone through how many spaces?
He's gone through 3.
So he takes 2d4 times 3?
I thought it was just taking damage when you entered the space.
Oh no,
No,
it's for every 5
feet.
feet he travels.
Okay.
Moves
So
into
yeah, times
or
3.
within.
So 9 points of damage.
Times 3? Where's the...
No, it
No,
was
I-
3 times 9.
I rolled 3.
Or 3 times 3, sorry.
Oh.
And then, letting out a howl of pain, he's just going to lunge forward and attempt to bite her.
What is it with these gnolls?
Well, you're the only one within range. Does a 14 hit? I think that's your AC, isn't it?
That's my AC.
You're going to take 3 points of piercing damage.
It's merely a flesh wound.
That will end his turn. That brings us to Aranor.
Avenge my flesh wound.
No, don't roll 3 times. It's just easier to multiply it by 3.
So, since we saw Moss cast a spell, does that mean we can get an idea of where it's located? If-
Yes. I believe that is in the wording of the spell itself.
That's what I was just verifying. It does say. Thought I saw it somewhere. I don't know.
The ground
Yeah.
twists and sprouts hard spikes and thorns.
Yeah, if you see it, you can see what where the area was. Yes.
Okay.
The gnolls that were already involved in combat, as well as the knights, because they're focused on combat, probably didn't see it happening. And the gnolls that just charged into it are dumb.
Yeah.
So yes, you would know that it's there.
Um. I can't touch her.
Nope.
Not without consent.
The one attacking her.
Mhm.
I'm gonna cast Compel Duel on.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They need to make a Wisdom saving throw. DC of 14.
He rolled a 4.
Alright, the creature is drawn to me, compelled by your divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you, and must make a Wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move to a space that is more than 30 feet away from you.
Okay.
Here, I'll put it in the... just for your reference.
Nice. Okay.
That'll end my turn.
Okay. That brings us to the last knoll in the back. It's gonna run up and climb on top of this stump here. And he's going to fire at the closest
Tarsha.
target. Nope, the closest target. He's going for the other knight.
Thank goodness.
But an 11 means that the arrows go wide and plunk harmlessly into a toadstool to the south. That is his turn.
A toadstool with crazy roots that's damaging everyone around it.
Yeah. Starsha, it is now your turn. You have
Goody.
a knoll to your back, a dead knoll in front of you, and the ground seems to be alive.
That's... I got no words for that. Alright. I will loot the dead knoll. Just kidding. Which will end my turn. So there's one behind me.
Mm-hmm. The one
He
behind
was-
you is in melee range.
He's also the one attacking me, right?
Yes, he has attacked you.
Okay. The other knoll, to the right from looking at it. Yeah, that one. He's busy with the other paladin.
Correct.
I just think would make sense. The
You
one
have
that
seen... You've
Yeah.
seen Moss cast this spell before, so you've
Okay.
definitely seen it before. You know what it does.
Am I okay standing in it?
Yes.
Okay. Is that like a crate behind the knoll that's attacking me?
Yes. It's like a
Can I-
broken box.
Oh, it's broken. Never mind. Just gonna jump up on that. Alright, well,
You could
on
jump
the-
up on it.
You really don't want to try to move through this.
I don't.
You could
Nope.
Misty Step to it, or whatever your
Okay,
shadow
yeah,
fell
could-
thing is.
So trying to get behind the knoll would not be a great idea.
Not if you're just walking. You're gonna take damage.
Yeah, so it's probably smarter to just turn around and slice him.
You could just turn around and slice him, yeah.
What if I use my acrobatics to get behind him? Like, kind of like do a flip. That's not really walking through it. Mm-hmm.
It's 10 feet away.
Mm-hmm. Very
What are
nimble.
the rules? Yes, there are rules for making a standing long jump.
Through another creature's space?
Well, they're kind of hunkered down and short.
There is an optional rule for tumbling through another creature's space too in the DM's guide. If you want me to bring it up.
I'm not really going through him. I'm going over him.
You can't really go over him. You don't have a move that would allow you to do that. The only thing I would suggest is your Shadowfell ability. Any other movement is going to cause you damage while you're in this Ring of Thorns.
My what ability?
The one from the Shadowfell, your innate ability to Shadow Step.
I have that ability.
Yes, or Misty Step. I can't remember what it's called.
Where would I find that?
Features and traits. It's your Blessing of the Raven Queen.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, let's do that.
That, I mean, it lets you move 30 feet. You could get up on the ledge behind. You could move all the way back, up on the ledge to the right, wherever you want to go.
Hold on, let me see how far 30 feet is. Oh, that's like everywhere.
Yeah, it's all outside of the circle.
You know what? In that case, let me get out of that. Let me get to the one that's up to the northwest. That's east.
Your other west?
The other west. Yeah. Because that way he
Okay.
will still be standing in it, but I'll be just outside
Just
of
outside. Okay,
it. Mm-hmm.
I'll put you there.
Alright, and then I'll go stabbity stab.
Okay, so that's your bonus action to teleport there.
Right.
And then, yeah, go ahead and roll to hit. A 14. Unfortunately, a 14 is not going to hit. It glances off of his hide armor.
Well,
But now you are safely out of the damage zone. So that's your bonus action, your attack, or sorry, your action. Do you want to move even farther away?
no, I'm good. I kind of like it there. Because
Okay.
he's still standing in it, and I'm not.
Right. Okay. Taladar, it's you.
Where's Sevra? Is she right behind Aranor, or did she stay back a ways?
Savra, let me just stick a token on the map for her.
Oh, is that not her at the bottom
No,
of
I
the
didn't
screen?
stick her on the map. Nope.
Oh. I mean, it's not really of consequence. Taladar just wants to stay close to her. He told her we would be defending her, and so he wants to get in between her and our opponents. I don't know if she is. Like,
That is her right there.
Is she preparing to, like, she's not a zombie, right? Is she preparing to fight? Is she still incredibly distracted by the calling to return back to
She
the tower?
is doing as instructed and is following Aranor. She has her weapons in hand. She does seem slightly dazed. You don't know how effective she'll be in a fight. She is
Okay.
following her suggested command. Stay calm and quiet and follow Aranor.
Right. Taladar will use whatever movement it takes to scramble up and over the wagon and get
Mhm.
over here, or just slip through her space for half his movement, and get in front of her. And he's just going to, while swinging his sword rhythmically through the air as part of the blade song, he will pause and slap the side of the blade against the flat palm of his offhand. A ping rings through the air, and you might notice he has the blade pointed at one of the gnolls. Which one of the gnolls looks like it's taken some damage? Any of them?
2 of them have taken damage. This one is
Alright,
more
yeah, that
damaged.
one. We'll hit that guy. I'm casting Toll the Dead against it. It's a cantrip, and I need it to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
You rolled a 6.
Good. Then it's going to take... Fuck yeah, 15 points of necrotic damage. I can't rip.
This spell rings out, the tone hitting all of your ears. Sounds like a death knell. And you watch as this gnoll clutches at its head, the sound reverberating inside of its skull as its eyes, nose, and ears begin to bleed. and it drops to the ground.
Yeah, Taladar issues a very villainous sounding laugh, and that is his turn.
Okay. That brings us to Felix.
Felix will move up a little bit. Look over at Moss and say, "This is ridiculous. You put your friends in danger, you make them standing targets, and injure people as well. I'm going to quicken Dispel Magic and get rid of the spiked growth."
Okay.
And then I'm going to Firebolt this guy.
Which one? Sorry, this one?
Yeah.
Okay. A 15 hits. 8 points of fire damage. Okay. The fur on the knoll in the back is currently aflame. It is howling and attempting to beat itself out. Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, the knoll that just put itself out
Sorry,
is
Dark, just question.
Yep.
Did that Dispel Magic affect Savra?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
The knoll is going to scrabble up the cliff to attempt to get to the target that did him harm. Gnolls are very stupid. And that really hurt.
Oh boy.
So, he is going to move. Aranor, you're going to get an opportunity to attack, as is the other knight there.
Yeah.
He attempts to go by. Okay, Aranor, take your attack of opportunity if you'd like. The knight will make one as well.
Oh god.
I don't know if the greatsword is just too heavy for you. Maybe you need to spend some time in the gym. But it swings around a bit too slow, and you miss him altogether. The knight...
How embarrassing.
The knight, swinging his greatsword, does hit him, spins around with his flashing blade two-handed, and clips him with his greatsword for 6 points of damage. And this gnoll is looking rather hurt. But he did reach his intended target. And so he is going to go completely feral and attempt to bite you.
That's rude.
Does a 7 hit?
It does not.
He's been on fire, he's singed, he just got, slashed badly with a big blade. And he's just fighting like a feral beast, so he missed. Moss, that brings us to you.
I'm just gonna turn around and give the old 1-2 with my sort of 1-2. 1. Where is it? With Primal Savagery. So I'll hiss and claw at him.
You would all notice the claws on Moss's hands are beginning to extend, and his visage takes on a feral aspect.
go? Well, not nothing.
Unfortunately, an 8 is not going to get through the armor. But Moss does look quite angry. Is there anything else?
No one's looking hurt yet.
Mainly the gnolls. Starsha's taken a tiny bit of damage.
I won't do anything else then.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, you took a little bit of damage.
Oh,
So that's Moss's turn done. That brings us... Nope, that gnoll's dead. That brings us to the gnoll that is in front of Starsha. He's going to turn around and attempt to stab you with his spear. But he's a little bit dumbfounded. The damage he took from the ground, you showed up miraculously behind him. He goes to stab you and it goes well wide. He doesn't
Good
have a
control.
bonus action, so that will be his turn. That gnoll is also dead. One of the damaged gnolls is going to take this opportunity to move up on top of its fallen brother and stab at the knight.
He gets a disadvantage. That's the compelled one.
Oh, disadvantage. Okay.
Or he can
That was the
come towards me. It's up to you.
Okay, I will move him back.
It doesn't have to, just saying.
No, you know what? He's dumb.
Yeah.
He's just going to move up to the closest target he can see. He's straight in front of him. And roll with disadvantage. Well, a 9 and a 7. Both are going to miss. That is his turn. Aranor, it is your turn.
All right. Well, we got one right here behind me. So,
Yep. I am going to remove the other ones. The dead ones.
I'll turn around
Okay.
and try again with the old greatsword.
Okay.
There we go.
You watched the previous knight swing his greatsword with ease, and you figure, I can do that. That is definitely a hit.
8 points damage.
8 points of damage. This guy is looking very, very bad. He's bleeding from multiple wounds. It looks like one of his arms is practically severed.
That's
Not
it.
in great shape. Okay. The final gnoll in the back is going to take a shot at the knight in front of him with his longbow. But cannot get through the knight's armor. He will stow the longbow now and move. Pulling out a spear. That brings us to the top of the round. Starsha, it's you.
Alright.
So you've got a gnoll right in front of you who is no longer going to take damage from a trap. Or a
That is
spike growth.
unfortunate. And I'll just go ahead and slash him.
Okay.
And I'll do it twice because I'll just use my bonus attack.
Okay. So
Do I roll a second time?
unfortunately, Unfortunately, that missed, but you have a bonus action to roll your other dagger.
Where's my other dagger?
It should be right underneath that one.
It's not.
Let me look.
You might just have to equip it.
I see 2 short swords.
Oh, yes. You don't actually have 2 short swords equipped. You have one, and then the other one is your dagger. So just roll one of the short swords.
Oh, okay.
$19 is gonna hit. But because it's a bonus action, it's only half the damage.
Aw.
Alright. He's looking hurt. He's not in rough shape yet, but he's getting there. So that's your action and bonus action. Do you want to move or do you want to stay there? If you do attempt to move, he will get an opportunity attack on you. But seeing as how they can't seem to hit the broadside of a barn, it's not too dangerous.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that too. I think I'll just stay there.
Okay. That brings us to Taladar's turn.
I am aiming to go right here. Come on. To go right here, in between the 3 of these knolls.
Okay, you're gonna climb up on that broken log.
Yeah.
It's only 5 feet up. It's not.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna... Are the mushrooms in front of me a thing, or can I just walk right through them?
No, you can walk right through them.
Or I could do, like... this. That's my 30 feet of... Oh, and actually, you know what? Blade Song gives me an extra 10 feet of movement, so yeah,
no problem.
Taladar will fleet of foot, blinding speed, run out, hop up, and spin around with a flash of his sword, casting the cantrip Sword Burst. I need all 3 gnolls to make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Dex.
If they fail, they will take 8 damage each.
The one to the north got 18. The one to the side got a 5. And the one to the south of you got a 13.
Right, then the 2 that did not save each take 8 points of damage, and the other one takes nothing.
Okay, so the one to the south and the one to the side, you take 8. The one to the south of you is starting to look pretty rough. And this is the first damage that the one to your right has taken.
And I'm just checking on bonus actions. You know what? I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna regret it, but I'm gonna stay there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, one more question. How does the knight look that's engaged with these 2 gnolls?
This knight, he does not look like he's taken very much damage at all. There's a rend in his cloak, but that's it.
Good, okay. That's it for me.
Okay. Felix, it's your turn.
I am going to use my bonus action for Adaptive Blast at the guy right in front of me,
Okay.
with just 3 motes of fire.
Okay.
So that's just 3 damage.
And he is dead. He goes down. He's smoldering at 3 points on his fur.
And so since I bonus action a cantrip, I can cast a leveled spell, right?
Yes.
I will cast Chaos Bolt at the one and like this guy right here, right below Taladar.
Okay. 24 definitely hits. And it's lightning damage?
Yeah.
It wasn't the same 2 dice, though, right?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
So it's just the 12 damage.
Just the 12. That is enough to take him down. This one also screaming in agony as lightning scorches along his fur, goes down.
That'll be my turn.
All right, Moss, it is your turn.
I'm gonna move forward a little bit and is that big mushroom? Can I see over that? Is there anything I can't see?
Yeah, it's only 5 feet tall, and you're much taller than that.
I'm just going to make some quick gestures and do frostbolt on the one in front of Taladar.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
Frostbite, sorry. So it's a con 14. Nope. Con 14
Yep.
save.
He rolled an 18.
Darn it. That's if no, still no one needs heals, then that's all I'm doing.
Okay.
No one needs heals, right?
Are you using your action to ask that in combat?
I've already taken my action. Can I ask without? Never mind. Yep, I'm done.
Okay. The knoll in front of Starsha is really going to attempt to get her. He's going to attempt to stab you with a spear again. That is going to hit.
No, no bueno.
That is 7 points of damage. As it begins to laugh, hyena-like, in your face, licking its chops. Aranor.
Moving up there. I'm intentionally standing next to Starsha.
Okay.
Not worrying about flanking or anything like that. I'm gonna swing.
Okay. That is going to hit.
7 points of damage.
7 points. This thing is starting to look bad. It's not laughing so much anymore. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Bottom of the round, it is the knoll to the north of the knight beside Taladar. Seeing this new combatant, he's going to turn and attempt to stab him with his spear. Does a 6 hit?
Nope.
Yeah, he stabs wide at this nimble elf on top of the log.
Come on, you can do better.
And that brings us to the top of the round again. Starsha, it's your turn.
Okay, okay. It's looking pretty rough now.
Yeah.
My question is, can I cast a spell and then still do stabbity stabbity?
You can cast a spell and then use your bonus action dagger, yes.
I like it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Alright. I tell that stupid no. You wanna laugh at something? I'll give you something to laugh about. And I'll cast Hideous Laughter on him.
Okay. What does he have to roll?
I have no idea. How do I know?
Starsha. Let me
Yeah.
look at your spells.
I'm looking at it. Is it like a 13 wisdom? Am I looking at the hit?
It
If you-
is, yes, it's the attack save is wisdom 13.
Okay.
All right.
If you click the cast button, it'll post the DC and damage.
Oh man, he rolled a natural 20.
He did not.
He sure did. I could take a screenshot and send it to you. He just
Listen.
grins at you.
I had a freaking comeback for the guy. Okay, you know what? If that doesn't work, I'll just stabbity stab him.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, because it's a bonus action, it is only half the damage.
We're
He
still
is
good.
now in very bad shape.
Yeah, but that wiped his grin off his face.
Yeah, he is not grinning anymore either. And just staying there.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay. Taladar, it's your turn.
Taladar is going to dance over to here, still on the log, invoking an attack of opportunity. If you want to go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
Sorry, provoking, not invoking.
Nope, he misses.
All right, and then he is going to, with advantage flanking, Green Flame Blade. He swipes a hand down the side of his blade, and it lights with green flames, and he stabs at the knoll to his south.
Okay.
With advantage. Let's see if I can do this way. Well, yeah, no, I have to do the weapon attack too. Okay, here's the weapon attack. There we go. I hope a 24 or a 21 hits.
Yes, a 24 hits.
9 points of piercing damage, plus 1 point of fire damage.
All right. This knoll drops to one knee and is breathing very heavily.
Oh, sorry.
He's in bad shape. That's you.
1 point of fire damage. No. Green Flame Blade does... Nope, that's correct. It does, yeah, it only does an extra 1d8 on the weapon attack, and then it also does the second damage is for a second target, which there isn't. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay. That is it for you. Felix, it is your turn.
So we have 3 of them left.
Yes.
Okay. Does one of them look like really hurt over there by Taladar?
Yes. He's breathing very heavily and he's down on one knee, bleeding from several places.
Oh man. Alright, I will just firebolt him.
Okay. Yeah.
Damn.
He almost explodes in flames.
Alright, that'll be my turn.
Okay. And Moss, it's your turn.
Grumbling, he's going to tweak his fingers and cast Frostbite again. On the same one in the back.
Okay. I just realized my knights didn't have turns. I forgot to put them in initiative.
They're just so shocked by her sudden appearance and
I
asking.
guess.
I'll let him take a breather.
Okay, is there no save for it?
A DC
Oh, it's
14
it's
save.
yeah. Let's see. He rolled an 11. So 9 points of frost damage.
And he has disadvantage on next weapon attack roll.
Okay. I'm gonna put a symbol on him that I won't remember what it does.
I'll remember because it's going to be against me.
Okay, that's Moss's turn.
Oh, I am going to do healing word on Starsha this time.
Okay.
Be healed.
Thank you.
I guess that's 2 words. Be healed.
Uh-huh. And that's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The gnoll is very, very angry and is attempting to bite at Starsha.
Why is it
Such-
always biting me?
Well, because it can't seem to hit you with its spear. That is
Well, that's
going
not
to
two.
hit with a... He got a 23, so that is 4 points of piercing damage.
Wait.
For how much did you heal me?
I'm gonna intercept it.
He healed you for 7. You're intercepting it, so that means you take the damage instead.
No. I reduced the damage.
Okay,
I have to be
by
within-
half.
No, by 8. So she doesn't take
Alright.
any damage.
And you don't take it either.
Mm-mm.
Nice.
There,
Okay.
there you go. Just make sure I'm not reading it incorrectly, which is...
Aw, Aranar.
So I kind of use my sword and just like hit it in
Blocked
its
it.
chin or something to kind of knock it away.
I didn't like that, and it's gonna snarl and turn towards you.
Careful, it bites.
That gnoll is dead. That was Nope, that was the gnoll's turn. It is now Aranor's turn. You have this snarling gnoll, dripping, bleeding. It's got multiple stab wounds.
All right, that's exactly what I wanted. Ooh, that's no good.
Unfortunately, you got overconfident
Mhm.
and swung wide.
Sure did. That's it.
All right. Starsha, it's your turn.
Alright, he's now facing Aranar, right? So,
You're not flanking.
man, Aranar, get with it.
You can move.
Move.
I'll move. I'll do
But
it.
then you're out of my intercept range.
So just
I mean, it
don't
didn't
miss.
really do much anyway.
So Starsha moves behind it into flanking position, standing on a root. Because she didn't leave melee range, there's no attack of opportunity. So now you can roll with advantage and roll your sneak attack.
I don't know how to roll the sneak attack.
It does it for you.
It does it automatically. Yeah, so you rolled a 19, it hits. So you do 6 plus 7 points of sneak attack for a total of 13, and kill it. It has been eviscerated. And it
Sounds
slumps
right.
to the ground in a heap.
High five, Aranor.
Yeah.
Did it.
You have movement still. There is one gnoll left.
What is that weird symbol over the knoll?
That's just... It's just so that I know that he has disadvantage.
Look at
Prepare for you to hit him from behind.
Looks like somebody getting sick.
It does.
I thought he was praying to me.
It looks like me after I've done half an hour vacuuming.
I have a mechanics question when we're done with the battle.
Okay.
Alright, well, let me, if I have movement left, then let me go and get behind him.
Okay. Yeah, you have 20 feet. No problem. Unfortunately, you don't have a bonus action left. And
That's okay.
You've used your action, but you will be in position for next time.
If he's
If he
still
lives
alive.
that long. So now, the knight, realizing that he can take actions, is going to move up
Kill Stealer.
into flanking. And with his greatsword... Oh no, the other knight did attack with a greatsword.
Yeah.
But whether he's exhausted or injured, you're not sure, but his greatsword swings wide, doing no damage. That is now Felix's turn.
Doesn't Taladar go before me?
Yeah, somebody pushed a button somewhere and people got jumbled around or something. I don't know.
Yep.
I saw it happen, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah, so Taladar, it's your turn.
Okay, Taladar is going to.
I think I might have messed up Felix's turn order.
Yeah, you know what? It's the blade work's been fun, but I'm not going to push my luck. From where he's at, he is going to cast Toll the Dead again, pinging the flat of his blade with a ring on his offhand. And as it rings out, I need you to make a Wisdom DC 15 save.
Okay. We got a 10.
Then he takes, and he's been injured, right?
Yes.
Then he takes a total of 18 points of damage. Necrotic
Again,
damage.
like you've seen before, he drops his bow, grasps his head as he starts to bleed from every orifice, and drops to the ground.
Taladar's gonna finish the turn by just cackling like a demon atop this log. That was magnificent!
And that is going to bring us out of combat. And I can turn combat music off, not that I can hear it. I don't know what music I had playing. So, as combat comes to a close and the forest goes still and silent, you all sort of pause to catch your breath. Finally, having a good look around you at the carnage that's been left. There are bodies of fallen mercenaries, soldiers. You're not sure. They're all wearing a very similar uniform. Everybody, give me a perception check. So Moss and Starsha, you both recognize the insignia. It is the insignia of Mirabar. They're all wearing black surcoats with a red axe, and you know you've seen this before. You know
Sorry,
that
the bodies?
Yeah, the bodies of the dead soldiers look like they were guards for the new Mirabar expedition. They've all been slaughtered. Some look like they are been dealt death blows with weapons. Others more natural, claws, piercing bites. There's a smattering of arrows all over the ground. It looks like this was a large ambush, and that everything of value was taken. The wagons, what's left of them, has been destroyed. Barrels burst open, boxes rended, and its contents looted. There is nothing left but broken weaponry, debris from the wagons and its contents, and the bodies of the dead.
How fresh are the bodies? Does it look like they've been dead for a while or just very recently?
These bodies look like they've been here for a while. There are signs on some of them of having been gnawed at by scavengers. When you first approached this clearing, the gnolls, it looked like were eating some of them. Gnolls also being scavengers and carrion eaters. Starsha, your perception check is high enough that in the very back of this combat zone, you notice that there is a large pile of stuff on the ground.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, thanks, Salute.
And what looks like an untouched body.
Oh. I shall investigate.
Okay. As you head off to investigate, the knights tell you, "Oh, thank you, friends. We thought we had it well in hand, but it turned out there was far more of them than we expected. We have been searching for the remnants or the remains of the Mirabar delegation for some time. We were only meant to be scouting, and at the sight of what we thought was only 3 or 4 gnolls, we thought we could handle it. You do now see that there are several other gnoll bodies on the ground, so they've been fighting here for a little bit, and had already dispatched 4 to 5 gnolls previous."
Is this on the same side of the road as the tracks went off to?
Yes.
So it's pretty clear that this is the Mirabar delegation and all the things that went off road.
Yes, it looks like, based on what you saw on the road and what you've seen in the underbrush and stuff here, that the entire delegation, wagons and all, were dragged through the brush. The contents looted, the prisoners taken, and the guards slaughtered.
And the gnolls came along later and found the bodies and started chewing on them, and that's where...
Make an intelligence check.
Intelligence, I have that.
Hmm.
Not today,
You know.
friends.
Yeah, you're not sure. Moss, you would know. You've read about gnolls. You might not have ever seen them before, but you know about wildlife and the circle of life. You think that they were probably drawn here by the smell of decaying flesh, corpses. And they found a whole bunch of somewhat fresh meat. And that's what drew them here.
Gross.
Yep. Starsha, you head up towards the back and are investigating. There's more debris up there. There's a whole wagon that's been drawn up. There's boxes broken open. There's barrels. More dead bodies. And what looks like a very nicely carved wooden coffin. It is empty. The top of the coffin sort of tossed aside. And laying beside it is a well-wrapped and preserved body. It looks like, so far, it's been untouched by scavengers.
That's weird.
Make a history check. Yeah, you're like, that's weird. Do you tell any of the others? Or call them over?
Yes, I was about to call Aranor. Come look at this.
All right.
Weren't they supposed to be returning a body?
Yes.
Aranor joins.
Yeah,
Starship
I'm having
with
trouble
his
with my
body.
map.
That's okay. You head up there, and you also have a look at this body. Make an investigation check.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a dead body. It's been well wrapped.
Yep.
Can you make a history check?
We got ourselves a mummy. Do you want me to make a history check?
No, there's no point making a history check. The others, no. You know, you hear Taladar and Moss talking about, wasn't there a body with that expedition? And the knights, what was that you said? A body?
Whose body?
One of the knights heads over. Yes, yes. Oh, thank goodness. One of the fallen. He was bound to Summit Hall. We expected him to arrive with the Mirabar expedition some few weeks past, but of course, they never arrived, and now we see why. It will be good to finally lay him to rest. And he calls over his other compatriot, and they begin to carefully move the body. The coffin still being quite serviceable. They place the body back inside, close the lid, and then very carefully step over branches and twigs and roots back out to a place where they can easily move it to the main road. It will be good to take him home. I cannot thank you enough for stepping in.
How did you find this in the middle of the woods?
We came across strange markings on the road. We have been up and down, as have others from, I almost called it Belanos, from Beliard, looking for where the expedition might have gone missing. And we had not spotted it until earlier this morning.
Moss nods and says we found the same tracks, and if we weren't otherwise destined to your hall, we would have investigated further ourselves.
Ah, you were headed to Summit Hall as well. Well, our
Moss
meeting is
nods.
then fortuitous.
Moss nods to Aranor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aranor, looking at these guys, they're both wearing the symbol of Tyr. You don't have his symbol on your armor or shield, do you? You carry a holy,
Yeah.
like a relic or
Right.
symbol?
Yeah. It might be on my shield, but I'm not using my shield right now. So yeah, but hello, brothers in Tyr. I'm glad we ran into you when we did.
Yes, they salute you in kind. Ah, a fellow brother of Tyr. Well met. But you are bound, all of you, to Summit Hall?
Yes.
It would be good to have traveling companions on the road.
We are in desperate need of assistance with our friend Savra.
Yeah, how is she, by the way? I think once the thrill of battle fades, Taladar would turn his attention to her. He's still concentrating on the spell.
Yeah, she looks the same as always. I mean, she is following instructions to the letter. She hasn't said anything. She's been quiet, she's been calm, and she is following Aranor everywhere. Perhaps we could rig up some sort of means of carrying this body back. There are enough wagon parts and wood here to at least get some sort of draggable, wheeled contraption to have a much easier time traveling. And the two knights set to work loading the bed of one of these broken wagons up, jury rigging some wheels to it so that they can easily carry it out and onto the road to head on their way. Takes no more than 15 minutes total. In fact, that you could take it up to an hour if you guys would like to have a short rest. If not, we can just press on.
Up to you guys. I'm fine with pressing on.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Moss is going to inquire, what about all these other dead? I'm of the forest and back to the forest, but I know you all have rights.
We will send word to Belliard and ask if they would like to send a group out, either to collect them for burning, burial, or to have the bodies sent back to Mirabar. The rest, the forest can reclaim. So after, 15 or so minutes, you guys manage to gather up and helping these two knights get the coffin onto this slapdash wagon and back out towards the road. I'd like to take a break there once we're now that we're again on the road and before we head out to Summit Hall.
Okay.
We'll take a 5-minute break.
Be right back. I'm back. Hooray. Here. Think.
Uh-huh.
Brybear?
I'm here.
All right.
Well, did you loot the knolls or what?
Oh, yes, you can loot the gnolls. Let me just roll a couple of things. They have nothing of great value on them. They don't wear nice armor. It's all just scrap hide. Their weapons are all scavenged and in terrible state of repair. But they do have some money and gems on them. So altogether, between the bodies of those you killed and the ones that you found here that were already dead, there's a total of 53 gold pieces.
Wow.
There are also 2 onyx worth 10 gold apiece, 2 fire agates worth 20 gold apiece, and 1 sapphire worth 100 gold.
My wizard is gone.
Your what is gone?
Your party
wizard.
wizard.
Oh, your party wizard.
Where's the party wizard? Where's the...
It's right near the anvil, I think. So, you guys have made your way back out to the road, helping these knights with their fallen comrade, whose body was traveling with the Mirabar delegation. And once back on the road, it is a relatively quick and easy trip. There is now 2 armed and armored knights with you. And you make quick work on your way to Summit Hall.
Don't we have 4 armed and armored knights with us?
No, there's 2.
There's
Ouch,
Aranor
jeez.
and Sabra.
They're always with you. You've added 2 new ones. So yeah, you make your way down the road. It's another about 3 hours of travel, but it goes relatively quickly, even though you are towing a large coffin on a ramshackle cart behind you. It still goes quickly. In the last half hour of travel, you can see standing solemnly atop a hill, Summit Hall. Let me put you on there. Summit Hall, hundreds of years ago, used to be a monastery. The Knights of Samular was founded by a group of brothers, primarily Samular Caradun. He was the middle brother and the most valorous, valiant, and heroic of the three brothers. He and his brother Renwick both fell in the Troll Wars hundreds of years previous, but not before establishing an order of Knights of Tyr to defend and watch over the eastern portion of the Desserin Valley. There is a tomb deep within the monastery that contains Samular's remains, and it is a great place of worship for all Knights of Tyr, especially those of the Order of Samular himself. It is mid-afternoon as you make your way up a winding path to the front gate of Summit Hall. The two knights let the cart rest and approach the gate, announcing their presence, and the portcullis is raised to allow you and them to enter. Coming down from the main keep inside the walls, you see an elaborately armored knight. She approaches with two other knights flanking her to greet you. Welcome, all of you, to Summit Hall. I am the Lady Ushen Stormbanner. I am happy to welcome you to the halls. I'll show you a picture of what she looks like. I'll put it in Discord.
Ooh.
She is a relatively young-looking knight. No?
Let's get Aranor out of here.
Please, come, follow me. Leave our fallen brother there. He will be taken care of. And she bids you follow her and her knights into the interior.
Taladar will give Aranor a little elbow in the back. I can only charm one at a time for you. You're on your own with this one.
Lady Stormbanner, it's a pleasure to meet you. We're following her in right now, correct?
Yes, she's leading you into the main sort of hall of Summit Hall. It is a large room. There are several long tables. This is used as a dining hall, a gathering place, a meeting room, all of the above. It has very high ceilings. There are banners depicting the symbology of Tyr adorning the walls. Several high, narrow windows. But for the most part, this place is about function rather than form or decoration. The walls, for the most part, are stark, stone-carved walls. And other than depictions of Holy Tyr or his works or his symbols, there is little in the way of decor. Please, come, sit. I will have refreshments brought, something to eat. You look like you've been through something. Tell me, what brings you to Summit Hall?
We've come seeking assistance with our friend here, Savra. And I kind of asked Savra to come over to us, Or kind of.
I mean, she's right on your heels.
Yeah,
She's
okay.
been following you kind of like a lost puppy the whole time. She steps forward and she sort of bows, but she doesn't really say anything.
She seems to be afflicted by some sort of control, and I'm able to protect her for a time, but when the spell is gone, she is drawn. She wants to go back to where she came from. There's some sort of smoke figure she sees that's calling to her.
Yes. Let me. Do you mind, my dear? Let me have a look. And as she comes closer to you, you realize that her face, she's very young. Younger than you would think somebody in her position should be. But as she approaches you, there is an age to her that you can feel in her presence. It's the presence and the sense of a woman that's seen much of the world and lived a long and difficult life. Please, have a seat, my dear. Let me have a look. And Savra sits down on one of the benches.
I should warn you, she is under a spell.
Yes, I do sense that she is under a spell.
Let me know if
Many.
you'd like me to break it.
Yes, you can let it go. It will be fine. She is safe here.
Taladar just places a hand on Savra's shoulder softly and mutters a word under his breath and breaks the spell.
As soon as you break the spell, Savra attempts to get up. She struggles for a moment.
He gonna hold her down.
No, there is no need. And she places both of her hands on Savra's face, and you see her eyes flare a golden light.
What the?
Savra's eyes also go golden. And there is a silent communion between the two. You're not sure what's going on, but Deebs, roll a religion check.
Okay.
You're not entirely sure. You may have seen something similar in your youth, but there is some sort of divine force at work here. You're not quite sure what it is.
My.
After a minute of this silent, holy sort of communion, both of their eyes fade back to normal, and Savra sort of slumps as if she's asleep. There is a great evil in her mind. I have seen this once before. Not long ago. I believe it is the work of cultists. And beyond that, there is an evil in the air, growing in this valley. Tell me, what do you know of the plane of elemental air? She's asking the group.
That's about it.
Would
Does
Moss
anyone
know
know?
anything?
Well, everybody make a history check.
Nada. Ooh, Felix,
Apparently,
smart.
I do know.
Moss don't know
Felix-
shit. Starsha don't know
Felix-
shit.
Air, what's
I
air?
know nothing.
Felix and Taladar have read some books. Starsha, even though you rolled low, you know about other planes. You've come from one. You've never been to air. You've heard of it, but anything beyond that, you don't know. Moss, you know elements come from somewhere. You've heard that there's other planes out there. Yeah, you haven't seen it.
I've heard of this thing called airplanes.
Yes, planes of air. Felix and Taladar, you both know there are several planes out there. The closest, of course, being the Feywild and the Shadowfell. They're closest to the material plane. But just beyond them are the elemental planes, of which there are several. But the prime, of course, being air, fire, water, and earth. Yes, the plane of air. I can see in her mind. She has been consumed by a powerful being. I believe this is the work of one known as Yan Si Bin. He is a prince of the realm of air. And if he is stirring, as I have seen others, then we are in for a very, very difficult time. I
When you
can
say
keep her.
she's been consumed,
Her mind is consumed with him.
Are we able
It
to?
is-
Are we able to correct that?
Over time, yes. I can keep her here. We can keep her shielded. And if the shielding lasts for long enough, the compulsion to follow will be broken.
You should know that we've passed through 2 towns on our way here, and in both, people have started to act strangely.
Yes, their power is growing, and it is not just this one Prince of Air. I believe there are others from other elemental planes, and what they are working towards, I am not sure. But I know that it cannot be good. Rarely do the planes work together. Some have an affinity for others. Water and earth work well together. Air and fire often work well together. Fire and wind, however, they are just as opposed as water and flame. So for something to be happening, to cause these groups to be working together, or towards a common goal at least, is very worrying.
Those that we've met seem to be relatively antagonistic towards each other, but not overtly.
That is their
Jeez.
way.
And so she said fire and wind are opposed, and then flame and water are opposed? Water and flame, whichever.
No, she said fire and water don't work well together. Earth and air don't work well together, but that some have an affinity for others. Water and earth can work well together, and fire and air can work well together. It just depends.
And let us be clear that you and your knights work with none of them?
Absolutely not. No,
Good.
we are the right hand of justice. As your friend here, I'm sure can tell you.
She speaks the truth.
Good, because we have encountered knights before who did ally themselves with one of these groups.
You speak of her Feathergale Knights.
Oh, you've met them?
Yes. Whether they work willingly, or if they are like her, compelled, they are not as they seem.
There's a very good chance that they won't survive their alliance. Would you have a problem with that?
What do you mean?
I mean, at some point, I believe we'll have to deal with these air cultists, and if the Feathergale get in the way, I'm not going to make a distinction.
If they are being compelled as she, they can be saved. Those who have joined willingly That is up to the gods to judge them.
Well, Aranor, I believe you might continue to be of use then.
I appreciate that.
He cracks a smile as he says it, like, it's he's not being an ass about it. It's a joke, kind of.
Tell me, what happens with Sovereign now? I'd like to see her protect it.
She can remain here, under our watch. I and a handful of others have the ability to keep her shielded for a time, long enough to break the connection between her and this Prince of Air. It will not be comfortable, but we will keep her asleep for as much of it as possible.
I appreciate
How long?
that. 3, perhaps 4 days. Once the connection is broken, she will need some time to recuperate. Her mind is divided, and it will take some time for both halves of herself to come together. She will need rest, reflection, in order for her mental state to be fully restored. We, of course, will allow her to stay with us here for as long as it takes to recover. Is there anything else that you would require of us? It is my understanding that you wish to go after these groups, these cults in the area.
Very much so. Do you have any leads for us?
I do know of the location of these cultists of the Black Earth. They have taken up residence in one of the forgotten, how do you say, haunted keeps in Desserin. They are a ways to the south, deep within the canyons. There is a monastery. That is their base of above-ground operation. I believe beneath the monastery, below the catacombs, there is something even more sinister.
Are any of the groups stronger or weaker than the others?
They all have different strengths and weakness. For instance, the air can control the winds. They can summon flying mounts. They can move light as air. Many of them use wingsuits to leap from great heights and soar as if on the winds itself. Earth cultists are difficult, solid, immovable as stone. Monks, most of them, silent, well versed in the ways of hand-to-hand combat. The water, the cultists are a little different. Their brigands are mainly pirates, ruffians, street trash, as it were, that they have gathered to help bolster their ranks.
Oh, we've met. There are a few less of them now.
Good. They control much of the waterways in the Desserin. The fire. I have not had much information come this way. We have had very little contact with them, but several people have been seeing flames in their dreams as of late. I have heard of a gathering of druids far to the south. Perhaps there is something there.
Moss speaks up, and we met some druids that were traveling to a Wickerman festival at the Scarlet Moon Monastery. Scarlet Moon
Oh,
Monastery?
yes. I think it's just Scarlet Moon Hall or Tower or something.
Right, Scarlet Moon Hall, yeah.
Yes, this is another of the haunted keeps. I am beginning to see a connection.
So there, there are many haunted keeps? How many haunted keeps
Yes.
are there?
How well versed are you in the history of the Desserin Valley?
I believe we know about the dwarves.
Yes, millennia ago, it was all dwarfs. Below ground, above ground. There is much riches in mining and minerals in the Desserin Valley. And thousands of years ago, the dwarves moved in and created great halls beneath the earth. Some they created above. When the dwarves moved on, orcs roamed the lands, destroying much above ground. Over time, different groups moved in, knights, warriors, many of them erecting keeps on the grounds of these dwarven strongholds. And after time, they have fallen to ruin. Some have been reclaimed. I believe these water pirates have taken one along the river. The monastery to the south, where the Black Earth cult now resides, is another. There are, I believe, 4 or more keeps within Desserin. Scarlet Moon Hall may very well be one of them. I believe, based on visions I know others have had, including myself, that there is something deep beneath the earth that is stirring.
You said there's 4 you know about, and I guess we list off that we know the Riverguard Keep, Feathergale Spire, Scarlet Moon, and what was this latest one called again? Haunted. No.
Well, she would tell you that she's pretty sure that the monastery of the Black Earth cult is one of them, and that Riverguard definitely was, and it's been taken over by pirates. She knows of 2 others in the valley, and that there is possibly more, but she doesn't know that that's necessarily where any cults are based.
Our observation is that, well, of the 2 that we've seen, Riverguard Keep and Feathergale Spire, they seem to be a forward base of sorts, not where the true power of the cult resides.
Feathergale is a more recent construct. It is not ancient like the others. It was built only perhaps 100 years ago by the Feathergale Society.
But even Riverguard Keep, Moss, you had an extensive survey of that site. In your estimation, do you think that the sum total of their power is within those walls, or? I think we could.
The underground river has always made me question what else is there.
Because I'm beginning to think if we went back there, we could perhaps finish what we started. At least take out their leadership. Scatter the rest. But if there's more beneath or beyond, that might be a taller order.
What would happen if one of these groups was removed?
It would create a power imbalance. The remaining would fight to gain what the fallen group had lost. I believe each is working to fulfill their own master's whims. But what their ultimate goal is, I don't know. I do know that behavior, weather, the elements themselves lately seem to be in a state of imbalance or flux. Myself and the knights, our beings and our magic is divine in nature. I don't know more than what I have read or learned from others about elemental magic. But I cannot help but think that is what is going on. This is no divine destruction. This is evil on an elemental level.
All right, it looks like we have what we need to do, or at least an idea.
I can give you a map to this monastery, should you require it.
Yes, please. I'd greatly appreciate that.
Of course. I can restock your provisions, or if you are in need of repairs or mounts, I can provide those as well. Should you need any healing or rest, that can also be provided.
Your kindness is again appreciated.
Please, you are welcome to join us for dinner and spend the night. Dusk will be upon us soon.
Do you know the way to Scarlet Moon Hall?
I know that it is in the south, below the last of the hills. I will have a map drawn up for you.
Thank you.
Join us at dinner, and I will provide these maps.
Okay.
She gestures to one of the knights to come and take Sabra to a room. She will be well cared for, don't worry.
Give me insight to make sure we believe what she's saying.
You can insight, go ahead. You haven't had too much interaction with the divine or paladins of high rank. You're not even quite sure if she is a paladin. She might be a cleric. You're not sure. But there is no sense of her lying. She's been completely forthright and honest with you.
Okay.
Aranor just blindly trusts completely.
That's because he's thinking with his penis.
No.
It's because she's Tyr. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of other knights join you in this main hall and offer to escort you to rooms, of which there are plenty. This is a densely populated keep, or it was a former monastery, so it's meant to house a great deal of individuals. And it is quite stark and bleak and functional, but there is lots of room, and it's made up for in the quality of its arms, its armor, its fortifications. The food is good. Bedrooms, while are not large, and it's 2 to a room, the beds are comfortable. They're clean. They're nicely upholstered bedding. Everything is in really good shape here. So you guys are all shown to rooms. Starsha will be given her own room. The rest of you will double up. And one of the knights tells you the dinner bell will ring at 6 p.m. and you make your way to the hall and join us there. So if you guys don't have anything that you'd like to do or questions you'd like to ask or anything, we can fast forward to dinner.
I think Talidor is going to spend a little bit of time just, pacing the halls of whatever areas he's allowed in, and just watch and listen and observe. I'm happy to make whatever checks you want me to make, or if you want to hand wave that, that's fine too. But he's just looking to see if there's any signs of influence, any signs of anyone here, who's not happy to be here, who wishes they were somewhere else. He's just looking for signs, looking for anything weird.
Roll a weird check.
So wisdom?
Roll. Yeah,
Okay,
wisdom.
Insight? Okay.
No, just give a straight wisdom.
Yeah, that's about on brand.
It smells of incense. It smells of leather and steel polish. You can smell fires from the blacksmith. There's chanting, prayers. It sounds almost like a temple. If the temple was built in a battlefield.
I would like to find their leader again and have a private word with her. My goal is to be able to make a religion or history check with advantage, or to just straight up gain from her a little bit of knowledge about the origin of these elemental forces, these princes of the elements. Talador is trying to get a feel for exactly how big and bad, or privately, how powerful these things are, and how much trouble we're in going up against them, or perhaps how much power he stands to gain by bending them to his will, if that's even a thing.
I have a related question. What is Lady Ushian doing?
Right this minute?
Like, through the day while after the rooms.
She oversees training. She trains herself. She does a lot of paperwork. I mean, she's the current head of the Knights of Samular.
Let me put it this way: if she's out and about doing things in public, Moss is kind of always around.
Yeah, she's kind of all over the place. She spends some time in what looks like an office, doing a bunch of paperwork. There's knights and scribes in and out of her chambers constantly. She oversees training of new recruits, the novices. She's at prayers for a good deal of the remainder of the day before dinner. She's kind of all over the place. She spends some time in a lot of areas. She checks in on the sick. There's a fair number of sick that are being cared for here. Some of them, it's old age or they're infirm. Others, they have lifelong illnesses that are being treated. And then others, this place still partly functions as a monastery. So there's a lot of priests and clerics and holy men about.
I guess my point is if Talador is trying to, I guess, get Lady Ushian in private, he just kind of always sees Moss somewhere around.
God, don't be creepy, dude.
Aaron
He doesn't know.
Aaronor's going to sit with Savra the remainder of the evening.
Yeah, she is asleep for almost all of it.
It's fine.
Some of it is fitful, but she has been more at peace since arriving here than you've seen her over the past few days.
Okay.
Starsha, is there anything in particular that you were doing?
Not really.
Not
really.
Okay. Felix, there's nothing you're doing?
No, he would just be sitting around with some bits and bobs of some watches, trying to work on them.
I think you would pique the interest of some of the knights, wondering what it is that you're doing. One of them approaches you. What is it that you're working on there?
This is a pocket watch that I'm working on repairing.
Pocket watch, like a clock.
Like a clock, but it goes in your pocket.
How do you get it so small?
You create it this way.
I've seen the workings of my father's grandfather clock. It is large. How do you get the parts? Do you craft them that small to begin with? Do you use magic to shrink them down?
No, you would start with smaller parts, and then
Incredible.
assemble them just like you would the larger parts.
This must be some sort of new magic, yes?
This is not magic at all. This is a trade.
Such a wondrous thing. I've never seen a clock this small. A clock for your pocket.
always
It
good
is
to know
called a
what the time
pocket
is.
watch. A pocket watch, yes?
Yes.
Because you can watch it whenever you'd like. Of course. Genius. I think that you will find you will be a very rich man.
There's a nice market for them.
Perhaps one day I will buy one of these pocket clocks, pocket watches. And he wanders off with his companion, muttering about, I wonder what they cost and what happens. I would like to look inside one, yes. And the rest of you, you're wandering around. You're not barred from any one location. You're free to go pretty much wherever you want.
I'm not a bard at all. I'm a wizard.
Oh my god. I would say if you're trying to catch her alone to have a conversation with her, best place.
It doesn't have to be alone. It just sort of like when she's not in the middle of talking to 10 people or training.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
The best place you're going to catch her for having a conversation is going to be in one of the chapels.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll kind of pull a Moss, maybe notice that he's also following her and watching, and just try and respectfully find a time to approach.
You find her in one of the chapels. There are a couple of other perhaps priests in there. One appears to be changing out the incense. Another is maybe at prayers, and she is kneeling along one of the pews, saying prayers or something. You notice Moss is sitting at the back of the room, also watching her. You sort of give a nod to him. He gives a nod to you. I know that you're both there. If you have questions, come forward. Ask what you will.
Moss just awkward, looks like he's trying to pray, doesn't know how.
Moss, get in here. Come on. Don't be weird.
Moss mutters something unintelligible.
I'll be blunt because I don't have another way. I don't have much use for all of this, and Taldar just kind of waves at the building around them and the chapel in general. Nor do I care much for organizations, regardless of how much good they may do. But, and as terrible a time I've had in my short years on this earth, I do kind of rather treasure what we have. I suppose what I'm getting at is I'd like to gain a better understanding of how large of a threat these elemental princes are. Are we talking gods? Are they on the
No.
order of the divine?
No, nothing can touch that level. And should the gods come to Earth in a form such as this, I fear there would be nothing we could do to stop them. No, these beings are powerful, yes, on a sub-deity level, but powerful nonetheless. These are elemental beings of immense power within their own realms.
With a history of +7 and a religion of +4, what is your estimation on how much Taldar would know about the creation mythos?
Relatively high. I mean, it's
Okay.
he's read a lot of books. He,
I'm not
He knows
going
all
for much
about the-
detail. It's more
Yeah.
just, in the beginning there were gods, and they brought order from chaos, and chaos rose up to to dash it down, and there was a war between gods and primordials. So that's kind of all I'm going for.
This does not go back as far as that calamitous war.
Oh, okay, good. Well, then there's a chance then. So these things are not all powerful.
Not in the way of deities, no, but they are powerful and can wreak a tremendous amount of destruction. You said you have some knowledge of the history of the Desserin Valley and the Somber Hills. You know of the dwarves who were here. But before them, there were drow. This-
Tallador whispers to Moss, "Black elves."
Moss isn't actually right beside you, so
He turns to whisper and then realizes you're not, and then stops.
Not all of them are black. Some are shades of purple or gray. They were here before the dwarves. Thousands of years before. This elemental evil has risen several times in the past. These drow, they were a sect of renegades, splitting off from their queen, their deity, Lolth. They discovered the extensive cavern network beneath the Somber Hills, and they claimed it for their own territory. Instead of Lolth, these dark elves venerated a god of primordial evil, and they built several shrines, it is my understanding, to this nameless power. Over time, this ancient cult of drow faded away, or perhaps were wiped out. And this place of worship to this elemental evil, a temple, some say, of elemental power, was forgotten for centuries. The dwarves came some hundreds of years later, and they built pastures and croplands. They established deep underground networks, a huge stronghold, they say, called Teyar Basil, beneath the Somber Hills somewhere, to defend against trolls and giants that once lived in the region. I believe these dwarves discovered the ancient drow stronghold and its temple below, and lacking perhaps the strength to clear out the ruins, they abandoned deeper excavations and sealed it off. Eventually, over time, the trolls, the giants, they broke the realm of Besselmer, and the dwarves scattered, many of them moving on, some north, some east. Many, I believe, went on to found what is now known as Mirabar. It is said that over the next 100, 200 years, adventurers would stumble across buried strongholds of these dwarves. Some perhaps even delving as deep as these drow vaults. But few records survived from those times. Names are all but forgotten. There was a time, there were a group of knights of the Silver Horn, I believe, that found the place, and they commenced exploration of these ruins. Adventurers came back one by one to Teyar Basil again and again, riches beckoning to them from these deep dwarven strongholds. But there was always something deeper in the caves below that would scare people off. Sometimes feelings of evil or dreams, portents would inhabit the minds of the people above, and the lands would once again become abandoned. Over time, these abandoned keeps and the dwarven stronghold altogether became forgotten to all but the scholars and the knowledgeable. Now, I am not sure if somebody has delved deep below and reawakened some evil, but danger is growing within this valley, within these hills. It is my belief that it is coming from deep beneath, perhaps in this ancient temple of elemental evil is where the source is. I don't know who has awoken it or for what plans, but it is my belief that that is the center of it. Has this answered your question adequately?
Oh, more than I expected. Thank you.
I have a book right here that I can easily read this from.
Oh, yeah. Save yourself the trouble if I could borrow it.
Oh, no. It's a personal collection.
Just while I'm here,
No.
You may have noticed Moss kind of shift a little bit when the word book is said.
I'm making it up. I have the book.
Oh, yeah. Teller just says, I was mainly trying to get an understanding of how doomed we are if we.
Oh, very.
Well, aren't we always, I suppose?
There will always be some greater evil out there. You cannot have the good without the bad.
Not really my concern. I just, kind of like all of this to keep going as it is, and I don't think that's possible if these elemental powers are unleashed on this world.
I, too, wish for things to go as they have been going, my child. For a great deal longer. I may seem young, but I have seen much of the world. And there is much more I would like to see.
How much exactly?
How much what?
Of the world have you seen? And for how many years?
Oh, a great many years. I have fought many battles, gone many places, and seen many wondrous sights. But there is always more to see. As for how long I have traveled, well, it is never polite to ask a woman her age. But just know,
just smiles.
I have lived on this earth probably a great deal longer than you have.
Interesting. Well then, I suppose I should thank you for your time. Moss, she's all yours. And Teller just turns and walks away abruptly.
Hamas just says, I need to go, and kind of hustles after Talder.
She just nods and smiles and goes back to her prayers. So you guys join them all for dinner. It is a crowded hall at dinner time. There are lots of knights. There are lots of... And everything is intermingled. There is no sort of hierarchy or ranks. There might be within the order itself, but here within the monastery, within Summit Hall, everyone is treated as equals. So the novices, the kitchen staff, the priests, the knights, they all eat together equally at the tables. While you guys are eating, she is sitting sort of towards the head of one of the tables. Friends, listen. I have news from our friends at the Order of the Gauntlet. I have received word just earlier this afternoon, not an hour or two after our new friends here have arrived. I have news for one of you in particular. Aranor, please, step forward.
Of course. I step forward.
She stands up from her chair. I've just closed the goddamn page. Hang on. She beckons you over, sort of to the front of the room. Yes, I have heard many stories of your adventures with this group, and I have received word from your order that you are to be commended. It is my understanding you have been with the Order of the Gauntlet for some time now, yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, it is my privilege on their behalf to offer you this promotion.
Ooh.
From this day, you are now to be a part of the rank of Whitehawk within your order. You are now to be entrusted with many of your order's secrets. You will be deserving of additional support during your adventures. And because you have demonstrated more of a knack, they say, for adventuring, for justice, and for doing and upholding all that your faith, your order believes, you can now be trusted to lead small groups for your order. And should you require it, you can put forth requests for weapons, shields, arms, armor, anything that you should require in order to further your adventures, your investigations, and your work on behalf of the Order of the Gauntlet. And she presents to you a pin to be worn sort of on your cloak, like where your cloak is pinned. It is a pair of stylized white wings surrounding a shield with a hammer and scales on it. Of course, this also comes with a small boon and increase of pay. And she brings out a small chest that contains 500 gold pieces.
This guy gets paid?
And 10 platinum bars.
I am honored. I'm honored by this. I'm surprised and honored with this privilege.
They regret that they could not offer you these things in person, but they did not know when you would next be able to return home, nor join them at one of their order halls. I offered my services. We had the gold to hand, so it was easy enough to bestow this upon you. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, milady. It is an honor.
Yes, it is. Come, enjoy, drink, food to be had for all. And you guys can spend the rest of the evening comfortably, filling your stomachs, drinking good ales, good wines, enjoying good food in good company, knowing that Savra is safe and taken care of, and that for this evening at least, you guys are in good hands.
I take the chest of 500 gold and I split it evenly amongst everyone in the party.
There's 10 platinum bars as well.
Oh, yeah, and Well, I give the gold to everyone. the 125 piece to
Damn.
pay back for the sword. And then I ask Felix, the accountant, to hold on to the platinum bars and split, among the party, whatever the cost is, or the worth is.
They're trade bars. They are. I can get you the cost after.
That's fine.
So yeah, you've got some money, and you now have the ability to call upon the order for new arms, new armor,
Mhm.
should you need it. So if you were planning on returning your plate armor to the Feathergale, you could have your own built.
I would like to do that. I would
Shall I requisition a new armor for you?
Yes, please.
Excellent. We have great many blacksmiths here who do amazing work. We would be able to get you something before you head out in the morning, I believe.
Outstanding.
In addition, they also asked me to give you this. And she hands over a wrapped bundle. Opening it, inside, you see it is a dark gray cloak with sort of a detailed clasp and a large, voluminous hood. This is no ordinary cloak, my friend. It is gifted to all who obtain your rank and above. This is a cloak of protection.
Oh my. I don't know what to say.
You say thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. All who work in the name of Tyr are deserving of some recognition, some of the time.
Thank you again, Lady Stormbanner.
It is my pleasure.
May I do with this cloak as I please?
Of course, it is yours to do with as you wish.
All right, I look to the party. Would this be beneficial to any of you?
I think you'll find it's probably beneficial to everybody.
It's got your insignia on it. Shouldn't you keep it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, I
have
thought it
his-
did.
Nope. It just has sort of an intricate clasp. His insignia, he was given a cloak pin that he can wear with the wings on it. But the cloak itself has no detailing of Tyr or anything like that.
So out of RP, would this be useful? Who would this be useful for the most, as far as AC wise?
Maybe figure that out later.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing further that you guys want to do tonight, we can call it there so that you guys can head out first thing in the morning to the location that she gives you that is marked on the map. She hands over 2 maps. First of which is detailed instructions on how to get to the monastery that is the known above ground headquarters of the cult of the Black Earth. It is called the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Are we supposed to have a map up?
I am just going to mark the location on your map.
So I just while eating dinner, you guys notice that Moss, from what you've seen before, is like all these fancy, or all these dinners that are in Civilization. He's kind of thrown himself with gusto, but he is eating very sparingly and spends most of his time looking at what's her name?
Lady Ushian Stormbanner.
At Ushian. And at one point he tells her, you see into nature with great clarity for one who wears the instrument civilization. You have great wisdom, and he's going to tack on the end, and beauty. And he's going to go red-faced, seem to shrink into his chair a little bit, losing some of his stature, and not say anything else for the rest of the evening. And where is it? It's going to shrink about about a half a foot, maybe a foot in size, smaller, kind of just like hiding into his chair.
So the location that I've just marked with rings on the map is where you would find the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Oh, not far from where we are now.
No. Scarlet Moon Hall is farther to the south.
But the gathering the druids spoke of to Moss was north of Beliard, right?
No, it's far to the south.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
okay.
she said it was to the south. The hall was south.
It is roughly here. It is not far from Summit Hall.
Sorry, the red?
The red is the... Come on. Scarlet Moon Hall. And the pink is the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Got it.
Okay. Are we good to end it here? Is there anything else that anyone needs to do or say?
Oop, good stuff.